Okay, so if you look at this, I can see where, Alex, I loved your question because you were like, well, how many different contacts are we really going to be able to change here, right? So what you want to remember is these, what's marked right here, the circles, those are relay coils, okay? So the way this thing was wired is that these contact relays, labeled A and B, control these relay coils, okay? And then those in turn control what happens down here to these contacts, okay? So really the only thing we're worried about when we start saying we're going to change it or not change it are A and B, okay? Because those in turn will affect our relay coils, which then in turn will control what happens down here, which of course affects the output. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, and then like Ben said, okay, it's binary, right? We only have a choice between a 0 and a 1. So that means when I do my exponent to figure out you know, how to set up the table, the 2 is always the base number. And then it just becomes a question of what the exponent is. And in this case, because we only have A and B, that's a 2. Last time we had C, so that's why that was a 3. So this is a 4 here, right? Okay, so when I go to set up my table then, what that tells me is literally, I'm going to have A and B, I'm going to have a 1 and a 2, right? Because I have 2 different outputs I'm looking at now. Does that make sense? Okay. And so then when I go to fill in the 0s and the 1s, because this is only a 4 here, you're going to have 2 of each, 2 0s and 2 1s, right? So I'll go 2 0s, 2 1s, and then I'll let it alternate 0 1 0 1. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So you, Ben and Al, you guys look like you're having an interesting conversation there. Would you like to share with us what you were just talking about?
He's at the exact opposite as mine, and I'm the exact opposite. Well,
Okay. Well, let's go through it. And I love your input. And hey, guys, listen. Here's the thing about this. Every once in a while, you're going to have that blonde moment. I call it a Mrs. Allen moment, where you get things kind of turned around in your head. It happens to me too. It's even happened to Krigel once or twice. It doesn't happen to him very often, but he's pretty good about this. But anyway, so let's talk about this. Let's start with like not making any changes, right? So really, for that part, it's going to be easy because you're going to go, okay, here's my positive side, here's my negative side, here's my 2 outputs, right? So really, for the moment, all I have to do is look at these 2 bottom pathways to decide whether these are on or off. Does that make sense? I don't have to mess with the top yet. So can you see, Alex? Is the current going to be able to make it across here the way this is right now? No. So this would be off. Everybody agree? Can the current get across for our second one? So this is going to be on. Ben?
I want to go up there real quick to explain how I was thinking it.
Sure, absolutely. Please.
you're thinking it the way I was thinking it last week.
Go for
So
it.
if,
Now remember, you're on camera, so
if
smile.
A isn't being changed, wouldn't this leave A closed, which would power CR1, which turned this on and this off?
Okay, see, that's what you have to be careful of. Sometimes having something powered on actually means that it's going to keep something open. And when you power it down, it closes it. Do you remember the other day when Kriegel said sometimes they have safety factors built in where it's like something going wrong will trigger this, and it instead will say, oh, shut that down. Open it up, don't keep it closed. It's like a safety precaution. Do you remember him saying that?
Yeah.
That's what he was talking about. So it's really, and Ben, I'm really glad you said that because this is the exact same thing I used to do all the time. I'd say to Kriegel, I don't understand. It seems to me that right now, this is getting power, so why isn't that closed? And it's because they can wire it any way they want, okay? And so what you have to do literally, and this is why I wanted to talk about this, is because this makes it so much easier at the beginning to go, literally, here's my output. Can the current get there or not? Here's my output. Can the current get there or not? The way it's wired at the moment, okay? However these settings are, this isn't getting any juice, this is. Does that make sense?
Into it, you can actually set the sensors to be either normally open or normally closed.
Because
That's just, go ahead. Alan,
technically,
please.
CR1 is technically normally closed, but since this is powered, it turns it open.
Yeah, you could yes, you could think of it that way, exactly.
Oh, I thought it was like,
That's what I was thinking.
yeah, that makes more sense.
Does it make sense? Good. Yeah, because you definitely want to get comfortable with that thought process, guys. because if you're not, it gets kind of messy, okay? So we're starting out with off and on, and I think we're all in agreement with that, right? Okay. So now what happens, and this is another one where you have to be careful how you think. What happens if we leave A alone, okay? Let's just start with that. What if we just leave A alone? What does that mean? Well, it means CR1 is only affected by A, right? So if we're not messing with A, CR1 is not changing. So this is gonna stay open, and this is gonna stay closed. Everybody okay with that, all right? Now, this is where I thought it got a little tricky for my brain. We're gonna change B, right? Now, when you look at B, you go, oh, well, if I change B, that should change CR2. But it's not gonna change it because CR2 already is not getting juice. So just saying I'm gonna open B isn't gonna change that. It's still not gonna get juice, right?
Exactly.
So this isn't changing. Changing B does not change CR2, which means this isn't changing. Is everybody okay with that? And so this is gonna stay on. Are you guys okay with that?
Okay, cool. I got this one.
So we're gonna stay off on. Does that make sense? Everybody okay with that?
Yep.
Okay, Alex, does that make sense? Alex, you look perplexed.
Wait, what? No, that one makes sense.
That one makes sense. Okay, so now you're looking at the next one, right?
Yeah. So
Okay.
if you
So we're gonna change A, but we're not changing B. Okay? So let's think about that. If we change A, A affects CR1 and CR2, doesn't it?
so
Okay.
it would change output 1, right?
Okay, well, let's look at this. Yeah, it might change both of them. Let's see, I'm not sure. So we know we're gonna change A, we're gonna leave B alone, okay? So we're leaving B alone, so this is gonna stay closed. But these two are both gonna change. So this is gonna open up, but this is gonna close, right? Okay, so if this opens up, CR1 is gonna change, right? Okay, so that means CR1, that means this is gonna close, but this is gonna open,
So it's
right?
on and off.
Once this opens, this is going off, right? So we know we should have an off under our output 2 here, right?
Well,
We haven't talked about output 1 yet,
okay.
but, so you want to say output 1? What happens there? Please,
Well,
feel free.
What happens is that since A and B are closed, CR2 turns on.
Uh-huh,
So then it turns off, like, open CR2.
uh-huh.
So then it's off.
Yes, so actually we should have off there. Does everybody see that? Great. Great job, guys.
Yeah, we're looking at the exact opposite.
Yeah. So does this make sense now, guys? Alex, you
No,
look
wait.
perplexed.
Wait. Do that one. Wait, what? How's it off?
Al, if you want to say that again, you did a great job.
Okay, so what
Do
happens?
you want your pointer? Go for it. And you can erase anything
Okay,
that you want to
so-
erase.
Okay, so which one are you specifying?
We're looking at this one, right? And you were okay with us saying 1 was going off, is that right?
No, I thought that one was off.
Okay,
You
so
thought 1 was on, okay.
Okay, so
So we're really only looking at this pathway, what happens
Yeah.
right here, right? Okay, so why is this off? Well, remember, we're changing A, which changes the status of both of these, right? Okay, so go ahead, Al, what happens if we change the status here?
well, technically what does this be closed?
Yes,
So that would be closed, but it doesn't matter because here, since these two are on, well, closed, this turns on and turns these off. So it's just gonna be open.
does that make sense, Alex? Do you
yes.
see what happens there? Yeah, you think that because these are both closed, you go, oh, well, that should keep the juice going here, but what it does is it changes the status of this, so that opens up, and that's what causes that to go off. Very good. So you guys good with that one? All right. Last one. What do you guys think happens if we change both of them? Do you guys have thoughts on that?
Hold on, let me get this in here.
Yeah, go for it. Take a minute and just think for a second, okay? Al, do you want to go up and make a comment on the last one? You can just write over the blue, I think. Let's see something real quick. Yeah, you can just write over that. Or Ben, either one of you. You guys feel like one of you want to come up and put what you think the answers are to the last one if we mess with both of those? Yeah, go to Brad. I think Brad will show up well. Alex, I'm gonna put up my thought process
Go on.
also, okay? Okay. So I think I agree with Al. Do you guys agree with Al on the last one?
Yeah.
Do you? Oh, good, good, good. So last one, if we change both of them, yeah, one is definitely gonna come on, right? Because if we change that, if we change this, then that changes CR1, which means this closes, right? But it also means this is gonna open. So that means this will come on. And oh, just to be clear, why does this stay closed? Because if all we do is change both of these, it doesn't change the status of this. So this stays closed. So this one will come on, but this one will go off. Everybody okay with that?
Yep.
All right, nice job. Do you want to hit the pause button for a second? Thank you.